LoreWarrior Armour, the Schiltron. Overview. Following the success of the improved Tokugawa heavy tank manufactured jointly by Bulldog Enterprises and Buda Imperial Vehicles, the DCMS High Command commissioned a new vehicle that would specialise in fire support. At the same time that the Combine High Command was looking for a new assault vehicle, Bulldog Enterprises were in negotiations with Kosara Weaponries of Northwind, which were expanding its production capabilities and looking to enter the vehicle market. The DCMS commission for a new vehicle proved to be a tailor-made opportunity for a joint design venture, and after several months of discussion, Bulldog and Kosara submitted the Schiltron for approval by the High Command. The High Command showed immediate interest in the Schiltron, not least because they were aware of the Northwind Highlanders' intention to establish an exclusive relationship with Kosara Industries. The High Command also concluded that the Highlanders, with their long history of putting vehicles to good use, would be the perfect unit to field test the Schiltron. Fortunately, the Combine was on good terms with the Highlanders following the successful conclusion of Sterling's Fusilier's Deep Periphery contract with the Dragon in 3058. The invasion of the Smoke Jaguar occupation zone during Operation Bulldog gave the Highlanders an excellent opportunity to test the new design. Capabilities. The Schiltron was the DCMS's first contract for a modular vehicle using Omni technology. With the successful construction and even more successful battlefield debut of 8 Omni-mechs, the High Command felt confident of experimenting with modular vehicles. Bulls Dragoons had proven the usefulness of such vehicles with their own, such as the Hovercraft Bandit and the Badger Track Transport, but unlike those designs, however, which were made to transport infantry, the High Command wanted a modular vehicle that could act as a mobile fire support platform. The Schiltron fit the bill perfectly. The use of the C3 system in every configuration of the vehicle pleased the High Command because many Combine commanders had long wished to see this valuable piece of equipment used more fully on the battlefield. Their inclusion of the C3 proved to be the deciding factor in awarding the contract to Bulldog and Kosara Weaponries. With more than 40 tons of pod space alone, the Schiltron potentially could mount as many weapons as the heaviest Innisphere Omni-mech. Even the clans with their vastly superior technology have a hard time matching the Schiltron for its sheer volume of firepower. Critics of this design, though, who also comment disparagingly on it being tested by a mere mercenary unit, have cited its relative lack of armour for a vehicle of its size, as well as its tremendous production costs, as a reason to limit the development. Deployment. Initially, several Schiltrons were assigned to the 2nd and 3rd Battalion of Sterling's Fusiliers as well as MacLeod's regiment. Following Sterling's Fusiliers' report of outstanding successes with the Schiltron during Bulldog, Kosara Weaponries and Bulldog Enterprises saw a significant increase in their orders, leading many analysts to comment that the Schiltron is here to stay. So, the Schiltron is another 80-ton wheeled vehicle. Its power plant is the 220 DAV fusion engine. It has a cruise speed of 32 and a flank speed of 54. Its armour is the Protect 12 ferrofibrous, and its armament is 42 tons of pod space. It's manufactured by Bulldog Enterprises and Kosara Weaponries, though that's under a license from Kosara, and its primary factory is on Proserpina in Northwind. Communication system is the Cypher Com System 1, and its targeting and tracking is the Target Track 717. A popular one, we've seen that on a few. But overall, this translates into a stat of a cruise of 3 and a flank of 5 with an XL fusion engine. Not like that means as much compared to Battle Max. It has an armour factor of 46 on the front, 34 on the sides, 25 on the back, and 40 on the turret, which for an 80-ton is not huge, but it's more than enough, I think, to handle anything that gets close enough before support can come in. But it is an unusual vehicle. Its primary configuration is 2 Arrow 4 systems, both located in the front, not a turret. It's got 20 shots in each of those. It has 2 medium lasers in the turret and 4 small lasers for anti-infantry work, as well, also located in the turret. So we have to assume that basically with the artwork here is that the 2 large pods are not turreted. Those are the items that the vehicle would have to rotate, either through neutral steering or having to do like a 52-point turn to actually get into a position to fire, while the smaller round bit that you can see on the top is actually the laser turret that it's talking about there, so just keep that in mind with the artwork when you hear some of the weapons configurations. Alternate configuration 8 is a pair of MRM-40s, both again located in the large missile pods on the front with 36 shots for split between them, and then 2 MRM-10s located in the turret with 48 shots split between those two. It has another 2 medium lasers in the turret and 4 smalls again. So that one I actually like a lot more. the ability to just dump a crap load of MRMs in a single round means you can do a hell of a lot of damage very quickly, and you've got plenty of ammunition going for it. Alternate configuration B is definitely in the fire support role, much like the primary configuration, with this one is mounting quad LRM-15s, split between the turret, the body, and the front, so this thing's pretty much all over the place as far as its LRMs are concerned. Each one is equipped with Artemis fire control, and it has 64 shots split between the 4 launchers. It finally has a single medium laser and 2 smalls also in the turret. And then finally, alternate configuration C, which eschews all of the laser weaponry, so you can imagine that those large pods probably don't even really exist on the top here. It has 4 large lasers with 22 heat sinks extra to keep it nice and neutral every time it fires. Not a bad looking vehicle, and I completely understand the idea in it. It also mounts Guardian ECM, which is another part that should be mentioned but isn't mentioned in the write-up. It's very reminiscent of the Tokugawa heavy tank. Actually, visually it looks very similar to it. So I like the fact that there's a little bit of a sort of a brand aesthetic that's been carried over into this design. It's terrifyingly well equipped. Obviously, arrow systems are nothing to laugh at. They are particularly nasty and very damaging, and something that can fire 40 of the things is pretty nasty. It's also the fact that even if you do manage to get up close to it, it can still defend itself quite ably with its turrets there. And if a crew decide to get particularly aggressive against someone that runs up on them, they can actually get in range of those small lasers and do some pretty good damage. Obviously, the alternate configurations definitely factor in a bit more for this kind of aggressiveness. I mean, the alpha configuration is definitely one that makes it more into a kind of assault vehicle, capable of being able to get within medium to short range and just absolutely lacing targets with missile fire, and then backing it up again with lasers. The C configuration is probably more adept at the idea of anti-armor work. I'd say more than anti-mech, though 4 large lasers isn't bad, but I could see that being more deployed within urban environments to encounter to counter enemy armored vehicles and maybe light mechs, rather than it itself having to go up against mediums and heavies, that kind of thing. Whereas the B configuration is definitely something that's more set up for siege operations, or just like the primary, just open warfare, being able to just target and dump a hell of a lot of LRMs on a single target, getting very accurate hits. Bear in mind, this has a C3 master system built into it as well, so whatever it's connected to, it's definitely going to be coordinating fire. And again, it's still able to kind of defend itself. Weaknesses is definitely its speed. Obviously 3 and 5 isn't brilliant, but it's enough, I think, that can keep it up with other heavy armoured vehicles that would likely be its escort in this scenario. And even if it does get attacked, it's got a good couple of turns worth of armour before it really starts to sweat. 46 points on the front means it's going to take a concerted amount of firepower to get through the armour there. The sides have got 34, so that's going to make it pretty resistant. Really, the only thing that's going to sort of hamper this vehicle is the fact that being wheeled, when you roll a motive check, there's a higher chance the vehicle can be disabled that way, which is definitely one of the bigger fears, but it's not the worst, and its capabilities, I think, far outweigh the drawbacks in that respect. It's definitely more expensive. Actually, is it more expensive? No, oh wow, it's not even that more expensive battle value wise than the heavy LRM. In fact, the heavy LRM is only about 10 points less than this. So, in universe, probably costs a small fortune to buy a couple of these things. But as far as battle value is concerned for building your forces, with a value of 776 compared to 769 for the heavy LRM carrier, you take the Schiltron for the few extra points. Surely it just makes sense in that regard. But I guess this is the night and day difference. The heavy LRM carrier is something that's built by the periphery states, whereas the Schiltron is cutting edge, brand new, on the field kind of thing. You know, so even the clans apparently have trouble keeping up with this baby. So yeah, that's pretty cool. I like it. It's a good vehicle. Very dangerous. The kind of thing that I would definitely be wary of actually putting up against players in a scenario, maybe in a final kind of scenario setup, or one of the later ones. Even a vehicle that may be captured and you have to protect it to escort it back, or something in those lines, or you have it as an ally on the field and players get to basically just have fun, just going murder hobo with like the MRM or the LRM variant of it. Arrow is a little bit of a different story. It might be a bit too powerful in that regard, but yeah, it's cool. I quite like it. Yeah, so yeah, cool looking vehicle, cool setup. I like it. Quite nice. Anyway, I've rambled enough. Have a good one, everyone. Thanks for listening. As always, I'll catch you next time. Bye bye.